Good evening, everyone. Today we are going to start a very important and interesting topic of geography, that is composition and structure of atoms. Now, in this chapter, we are going to talk about the composition and structure of atoms. In this chapter, we are going to study about atmosphere, its meaning, its different composition and its structure. We are going to study about its composition and its structure. Now we all know that this Earth, which is in spherical in shape, and on this Earth there are three main domains which are exist. Number one, that is lithosphere. What are these three domains? Number one is lithosphere, where lithos here means what? Rust. Then number two is hydrosphere, where here hydros means what? Water. And number three is atmosphere, where atmosphere means what? Different gases. And these three domains, this together, it makes biosphere. And we all know that like matter, these three domains exist in different forms. Where here lithosphere exists in solid form, hydrosphere exists in liquid form, and here atmosphere exists in gaseous. Atmosphere exists in gaseous. Okay, understood to you? Now this atmosphere, it occupies space also and it causes inertia also. Understood? It causes inertia also. Now we have to understand what is atmosphere means. This atmosphere is, the definition of this atmosphere, very simple definition is that the thin layer of different gases which surrounds the Earth is called as atmosphere. This thin layer of gas, different gases present which surround the Earth, it is called as atmosphere. And on this atmosphere, we all know that on this atmosphere, different gases exist. And as we move up, and it also exists in different. It varies as we move up. It varies as we move up. The thin layer, the gases present becomes thinner, and which exerts a problem in breathing as a person goes high at the higher altitude. Now, the reason behind it, why person have a breathing problem there as a person moves upward at a higher altitude. The reason behind is that a very thin layer are pressing from up. Okay, understood. So that this different gases differ, its density differ. At lower surface, high density is high, and as we move up, the density decreases. Okay, understood? Now we'll talk about atmosphere in its composition. Now on this atmosphere, different gases which are life-supporting gases are present. And the main gases which are present on this atmosphere, when we talk about its composition, the main gases, that is nitrogen. If we talk about composition, the main gases which are present is nitrogen, which is 78%. And this nitrogen is very much important. First of all, what does nitrogen do? That it dilutes the oxygen, and which slows down the process of combustion. And second, this nitrogen is used by the plants. And how this soil absorbs this nitrogen, and how this plant uses? This plant uses nitrogen not directly from the atmosphere. Plant uses this nitrogen in the form of nitrates. In the form of what? Nitrates. And animals use this nitrogen by eating plants or other animals. And we all know that this nitrogen is odorless, colorless, having no smell. Okay. Now, second most important gas is present is oxygen, which is 21%. And this oxygen level is very important gases. Without oxygen, we cannot imagine a life. It is very impossible for it to breathe. Okay. And this oxygen also help in combustion also. Okay. And other than oxygen, there are nitrogen and oxygen, different gases are present. Like carbon dioxide, which is present 0.03%. And this carbon dioxide gas is very important for plant. Plant uses this carbon dioxide during the process of photosynthesis. Understood? Any doubt? Okay. And also then next is water vapor. Water vapor plays a very important role in precipitation. And how this water vapor becomes a part of the atmosphere? By the evaporation process of evaporation. When ocean water evaporates, and after it evaporates, the water when goes up, it gets converted into water vapor. And this, now these are the different compositions. Now we talk about the function of it. Now we all know that air which occupies space and exert pressure, and due to its exert pressure, it has a physical contact with land and water. First important function. Second important function of atmosphere is that the soil absorbs nitrogen due to this physical contact. Third, the exchange of gases take place because of the physical contact between the land, air, and water. Carbon dioxide, which you absorb this from the carbon dioxide, which we get from this atmosphere, it keeps the earth warm. It absorbs the sunlight. Understand? So these are some of the important functions of atmosphere. Now, very important topic that we are going to discuss, that is the structure of atmosphere. Structures. There are 5 different layers of atmosphere. At the bottom, there is troposphere. Above troposphere exists stratosphere. Above stratosphere exists mesosphere. Above mesosphere is thermosphere. And at the top is exosphere. So these are the different structure of atmosphere. But one by one we are going to discuss about the different structure. First we are going to talk about the troposphere. This troposphere, about 75% of atmosphere are present in this troposphere. And when we talk about it is present between the 18 km from the equator and 8 km at the poles. And secondly, the lower layer of troposphere, the temperature varies. The lower layer of the troposphere has high temperature, and as we move up, the temperature decreases. Okay. Second point is very important point is that as we move up, the density decreases, and as density decreases, temperature also decreases. And very important topic about this troposphere is that is normal lapse rate. Very important. What is this normal lapse rate here means? Now, normal lapse rate here means that for every 165 centimeter, as we move up, temperature decreases by 1 degree, and which is called as this normal lapse rate. Second important thing, that all important weather phenomenon takes place in this troposphere. Like formation of clouds take place here. Birds fly in this layer. Okay, so all important weather phenomenon takes place on this layer. And as water vapor is present and also clouds gets formed, so aircraft does not fly on this layer. So these are about the characteristics about the troposphere. Now next we talk about this stratosphere. What is stratosphere means? What is this stratosphere means? Stratosphere means constant temperature. And it lies around 15 kilometers from the sea level. Now why it has constant temperature? Because the insulation the received from the sun is equal to that lost by. Whatever the insolation which is received from the sun, it is equal to that lost by, and therefore it has the constant temperature. And as it has a constant temperature, water vapor also does not form, cloud also does not form. So on this layer, aircraft flies on this layer. And secondly, we all know that in this troposphere, as we move up, temperature decreases. But in stratosphere, as we move up, temperature increases. And why? Because of the presence of ozone. Ozone, which lies between 20 to 50 kilometers. Temperature is very okay. Understood? So these are some of the important characteristics about stratosphere. Now next we talk about the mesosphere. Now mesosphere, it is the middle layer. As you are seeing that mesosphere lies from this the troposphere, stratosphere, two layers are present from the bottom and two layers are present at upper, that is exosphere and thermosphere. And beneath this lies the mesosphere. The important characteristics of this mesosphere here is that it is one of the coldest layer of all the atmosphere. And because of this coldness, all the meteors gets burned in this layer. And it lies between the around 80 kilometers. 80. Okay. One more important thing. The upper limit of troposphere is called as tropopause. The upper limit of stratosphere is called as stratosphere. Now, talk about mesosphere also. Temperature is very low, around minus 110 degrees Celsius, and it is coldest here. Okay. Now next we'll talk about the thermosphere. Now, as we move up, temperature increases, and on this thermosphere, temperature is very high, around 1750 degrees Celsius, and it lies around 80 to 640 kilometers. Temperature is very high. And why this temperature is very high? Because of the solar radiation. Because of the solar radiation, temperature is very high. And also, very important point I am going to say is that because of the high temperature in this thermosphere, the gases are present in the form of ions. And therefore, we can say that this ionosphere is a part of this thermosphere. Because gases here exist in the form of ions. And very important characteristic of thermosphere is that radio waves gets reflected back from this thermosphere, which help in telecommunication. Very important point. Understood? Any doubt? Now, last layer, that is exosphere, the outermost layer. It's around 640 to 1500 kilometers. Temperature is very high, around 4000 degrees Celsius. Very high temperature. And because of the high temperature, very lighter gases are present. What are lighter gases? That is helium and hydrogen. These lighter gases are present. So we have discussed about the different structure of atmosphere. Understood?